in the open road. I got the throttle wide open, feel my pace. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me in the open road, riding into the moonlight. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Life in the fast lane, it's easy to maintain. Just twist the throttle on back and feel no pain. From the open highways, backwoods of the country, where live free or die is the only way. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Never look back, 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 never look back. White lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. Two wheels in the open road, life and death in my own hands. I am my own justice, I am my own man. I never look behind through all that I have seen. 'Cause all I need is white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline, white lines of gasoline. We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag 'cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. Yeah. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans. From the snowy passes to the desert sun, dogs and the horses and the trucks and the guns, mothers and daughters and fathers and sons, we're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. Yeah, home of the brave in America. We're an amazing America. the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to Race 1 of 12 in a brand new series of Monday Night Mania brought to you by Richard Brose. I am Scott Kolovic, your announcer for the evening. Live broadcast brought to you by Mike D'Amica, the man on the cameras, All Pro Broadcasting. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, this is a brand new season here with Monday Night Mania. Our winner last season, Mitchell Reeves, out here to see if he can do it again. He's going to have lots stiffer competition out here tonight. We're going to be running tracks such as Michigan, Daytona, Talladega, Las Vegas. More of a big track series. We have snuck in a few sleepers in there for you. Tonight's race is at Talladega. In the B class, Camaro Mustang, we are looking at a 2.6 mile speedway out here. You guys all know all about Talladega. These guys love to run Talladega. We're going to be seeing 3 wide. We're going to be seeing 4 wide. There will be spills. There will be chills. And there will be thrills. Tonight's race is 100 laps. Looking at a fuel window sitting right at about 30. So hopefully these drivers will be able to perform 3 green flag pit stops. Now, if you did notice in Saturday's race, Talladega had a great run over there. Saw a lot of green flag pit stops. But we also saw drivers struggling with pit row. Edward Bray himself going into pit row a little bit sideways. Obviously, some of these drivers struggling with pit row activity on Saturday. We'll see how they do out here tonight. Now, another thing about this Monday night series, it is for points. We will be putting the points up there on Facebook on Dan Lisa. So make sure you keep an eye on the point posting to root on your favorite driver along the way of this 12-week series brought to you by Richie B. A little bit of information about Richie Brose. Tonight he is in the number 41. Usually he is the 07. Hope that will not affect his mentality out here tonight. But Richie B in the number 41. Richie B's Pizza out of Dothan, Alabama. Great pizza. If you're ever out there in Dothan, make sure you check out Richie B's Pizza. A few of the drivers out here tonight representing. We have got 02 of Mitchell Reeves running with Southeast. We have got Ryan Kuhn, that 15-year-old Wildcat. Been talking an awful lot about Ryan Kuhn lately. Great driver right there. We've got the number 40 of Greg McClendon. Our Friday night sponsor, Blaze Pizza. Gotta love it when the pizza guys come out to play. Number 57, Wally Tierheimer, joining us out here on this track, as well as the 00, James O.O. Brown. James will be working with his good friend, Alan Larson. And speak about Alan Larson, on Sunday the 19th, we have got our monthly pad race. Pad in conjunction with Max Mounts. Alan Larson, a representative for Max Mounts, working hand in hand with Pad to help the drivers keeping their hands on the wheel and off of their phones. A big shout out to Max Mount and Mike Kalini and Alan Larson and Pad, PADD.org. Check us out on Sunday the 19th. Right now, these drivers are qualifying out on this track. What a great night for racing out here. Air temp sitting at 65, track temp sitting at 75 degrees. Going to show for a lot of maximum grip out here tonight. Qualifying extremely important out here on the speedways. Drivers right now looking at high times in the 52s. Nobody really being able to break down under that 51 mark, but once these drivers do get out here into this draft tonight, we will be seeing draft time sitting in the low 50s. Great night out here for race 1 of the Monday Night Mania Series, brought to you by Richie B. As these drivers are finishing up, we talked about the 19th. We're going to talk about Saturday the 18th. Big shout out to Becky Whitmer and Gary Whitmer Sr. Going to put on a salute to the troops military-themed race on Saturday. The 18th, Our Way of Saluting the Troops, brought to you by Gary Whitmer and Becky Whitmer. And that will be 100 laps at Talladega on Saturday, the 18th, live broadcast by All Pro Broadcasting Network. Big shout out to the fans out there. Hey, Michelle out there, good to see you. Always good to see Michelle, always good to see Becky. Always good to see all of those fans out there on the All Pro Broadcasting chat. As these drivers are lining up, we have the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer out there on that P1 position with a 52.877 side by side with a very young driver, Nathan Sylvia, the number 14, position 2, 52.889. The number 74, Abe Bowden, tasting the Skittle Rainbow, position 3, with a 52.900 side by side with the 00, James O.O. Brown, with a 52.904. And Mr. Wally Tierheimer, position 5, with a 52.907. Position 6, the number 73, Justin Anderson. Number 9, Alan Larson, position 7 tonight. Big shout out to Alan Larson. 02, Mitchell Reeves, qualifying in position 8. Donald Stewart, the number 78, in position 9. And rounding out the top 10, hey, big shout out to Gary Whitmer Jr., our replay sponsor for tonight's race. Gary Whitmer, number 5, position 10. Landon Cirodella, coming in tonight, position 11, side by side with Edward Bray in the number 66. Greg McClendon in the Blaze, looking sharp out there, number 40, position 13. Alongside the number 48 of Steve Dukes, P14. The number 4, Brent Kill in the Drive for Diabetes Awareness. Ford looking good out there, position 15. Everett Fastlane Racing, position 16 in the number 24. Number 55, Scott Amy, position 17 with the number 64 of Lee Staples, P18. Jay Anderson, number 18, position 19, side by side with the number 15 of Ronald Hartfeld, rounding out our top 20. Jarrett Lipster, position 21. Ronald Klein, position 22. Ryan Kuhn, position 23. Sean Dower, position 24. Lee Ryerson, position 25 tonight. Joel Guy, position 26. Chris Hogue, position 27. Judd Danielson, position 28 tonight. Tristan Meets, position 29. And Danny Rudy, rounding out our top 30. Position 31, Craig Hawkins. Vernon Markheim back there in the rear, along with Colin Bauer, Ivan Garcia, Richard Brose, Michael Johnson, and Chuck Dix in the rear of the field. Up to the front, Raymond Rittenauer. High hopes out here for our pole sitter tonight. Raymond Rittenauer side by side with Nathan Sylvia. As you know, folks, all starts and restarts here are done on leader's discretion. Once that pace car heads into pit road, these drivers can go on leader's discretion. Getting those cameras up there on Raymond Rittenauer, support and pad on the rear. Domino's TYJ across the top. Good job, good sponsorship there by Raymond Rittenauer. Kicking off this 100-lap race tonight, side by side with Nathan Sylvia. Pace car is in, and Raymond getting ready, holding steady at 79, holding steady. Steady as she goes. Raymond. Nathan can't go until Raymond goes, and away goes Raymond Rittenauer and Nathan Sylvia. Kicking off tonight's race here at Talladega. The number 74 of Abe Bowden holding off the rear end of Raymond. Nathan Sylvia getting a little bit of push from the 00 of James O. Brown on that outside lane as Abe Bowden does close that gap up onto the number 87, Raymond Rittenauer. Wally Tierheimer, third car down on that inside lane, but that outside lane being led by the number 14 up, Nathan Sylvia, getting away on a roll as he does come down in front of Raymond Rittenauer, opening up that front door for the 0-0, James O'Brown. Getting a lot of pushing right there from the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Justin Anderson, great driver out here, knows his way around up to the front, very familiar with the front. Justin Anderson right now giving it all to James O'Brown, side by side with Raymond Rittenauer and Nathan Sylvia. 2 laps in, 98 to go. So far, so good on our opening race of Monday Night Mania winter season 2016-17. Nathan Sylvia side by side up there with James O'Brown. Front drivers starting to roll. Mitchell Reeves in the 0-2, hanging very easily out there in that middle lane, knowing he's got a long way to go side by side with the number 74 of Abe Bowden. Great looking car out there, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you what, we have got pizza, we have got Skittles, we have got Wally giving us some burgers, and Nathan Sylvia up there putting on a show. Great field. These drivers out here tonight are hungry, ladies and gentlemen, but they've got to show the patience out here. Saturday night, they were on point for the Drive for Dementia Awareness. Hopefully these drivers will stay on point tonight, knowing they have got a very long way to go tonight and plenty of time to get there. Top 17 drivers actually breaking away from the rear of the field, getting in line for a 17-pack run, and here they come. They were broken up, but not no more. We are back to a full field sitting here of at least 21 drivers, bumper to bumper, nose to nose action here on lap 3 at Talladega. James O'Brown, Nathan Sylvia, Justin Anderson, Raymond Rittenauer, Mitchell Reeves rounding out our top 5. Not a whole lot going on here up at the front, ladies and gentlemen. No lead changes as of yet. These drivers doing everything they can to slowly hanging out. Taking a look at Gary Whitmer Jr. tonight in position 8. Already gained 2 spots out of his qualifying time of position 10. He is at the nose of the number 66 of Edward Bray, side by side with Wally Tierheimer. Looking very sharp out there. I believe that in the Aquafina. Big shout out to Gary Whitmer, our replay sponsor, as well as our videographer, and the great son of Becky and Gary Whitmer. Big shout out to Gary Whitmer Jr. out here tonight in the number 5. Up there in the front, James O'Brown abandoning that outside lane, going down in front of Nathan Sylvia. Possibly going for, I believe, his first lead of the night. James O'Brown down on that inside lane, pulling Nathan Sylvia along him, but that's going to open up that door for Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves out there on that middle lane. That will also open up that door for the number 5 of Gary Whitmer and Edward Bray, staying in that middle lane, slowly letting Mitchell and Justin lead them up to the front of this huge pack tonight. Drivers being very patient, inside lane beginning to pull around, being led by James O'Brown and Nathan Sylvia. Raymond Rittenauer, our pole sitter, currently in 4th position. That will be our first lead change of the night. Lap 6 being led by James O'Brown. James O'Brown side by side with Justin Anderson. Number 14 down on the inside, Nathan Sylvia. Now, we talked about the youth of some of these drivers. I do believe Nathan Sylvia is sitting right at around 15, 16 years of age as well. Saturday night, these younger drivers coming out here showing the old geezers how to get her done. Let's see how it works out for the number 14, Nathan Sylvia tonight. Right now doing a great job in position 2, side by side with the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Dropping on back to the back of that pack just a little bit more, taking a look at Greg McClendon. Greg McClendon, our Friday night sponsor in our Friday night flights. What a great looking Camaro right there being driven by Greg McClendon. Great paint job. Do believe that paint job was done by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Big shout out to the painter out there, John Hedrick with Over the Top Paint and Designs. Keeping these drivers looking very sharp out here right now. The number 40 of Greg McClendon qualifying in 13th. Right now in 13th. Holding steady side by side with the number 64 of Lee Staples. Hanging on to the rear end of the number 48 of Steve Dutz. Steve Dutz out here in the Red Bull, trying to get her done tonight. Steve Dutz, another younger driver, low 20s. Steve Dutz, great driver, has won very many of these races, knows how to get her done, knows how to show that patience, but he also does know when it is time to go, you got to go. And right now, Steve Dutz being very patient. Up to Everett Lane going 3 wide. Everett Lane not going 3 wide. Everett Lane had to get out into that high lane, possibly to cool his engine down, hoping maybe that the number 64 would go with him or the number 66 would lead him. But back to double file racing here on lap 8. Let's keep that camera locked on to Everett Lane and Edward Bray, because I'm thinking, ladies and gentlemen, they may have something up their sleeve. The question is do they really run a tamper with going 3 wide? We are only 9 laps into 100. Number 55, Scott Amy, will become lap traffic, and we are 3 wide with the lap traffic of Scott Amy. Scott Amy not doing a really good job of holding that line and letting that lap traffic by. Scott Amy having difficulties. Scott Amy having difficulties back here in the rear of the field. Scott Amy seemingly to get it back under control, but he is feeling awful loose back here in the rear. Unfortunately, problem taken care of. Back up to the front, take a look at our leaders. Number 73 of Justin Anderson and James O'Brown. Still doing a great job holding their own out here. Number 14, Nathan Sylvia, second driver on that inside lane, currently side by side with Mitchell Reeves. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, these top 6 drivers, they're not racing one another, they are racing with one another. Now let me explain that difference to you right now. We know that Justin Anderson and James O'Brown, they're not worried about each other. They're not worried about Nathan. They're not worried about Mitchell. They are not even worried about Gary Whitmore and Raymond Rittenauer. Right now, these top 6, very more so concerned with just working together as a group, trying to work their way on to those green flag pit stops. We are 1/3 of the way to green flag pit stops. Pit stops will be sitting there at about 29:31. We are on lap 11 for lead changes. Justin Anderson, James O'Brown, Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves and Justin Anderson advancing that outside line. Plenty of room for Justin Anderson to go down if he chooses to, but he chooses not to. Very content tonight, riding out in that middle lane here as we are running down lap 12. But look at that big gap with Raymond Rittenauer on that inside lane. Raymond Rittenauer beginning to get caught back up to the number 14 of Nathan Sylvia. Must have got too hot right there, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you how that situation works. If the driver does stay connected up onto the rear end a little bit too long, his temperature will begin to rise. Now in that situation, you have got to back off the driver you are pushing. You have got to allow some clean air into the front end of that vehicle. Otherwise, you will blow this engine. Taking a look at the number 14 is how tight the number 14, Nathan Sylvia, is onto the rear end of James O'Brown. Taking a big chance, getting that engine heated up. As one more time, Nathan Sylvia gives James Brown a big push. He has got to be keeping an eye on that engine temperature here early on. Another way these drivers can cool that engine down, they will scoot off the right side, the rear of that bumper. Right there, as we are watching that, we are looking at James O'Brown trying to give Nathan Sylvia that inside edge to get a little bit of air into that left side of that radiator. Again, Nathan Sylvia tight, and again, Nathan Sylvia doing everything he can to breathe it up. He has got to be burning it up, gentlemen, here on lap 13. Outside lane, taking a look at the number 66 of Edward Bray. We've got three gentlemen right here with Edward Bray, Gary Whitmer Jr., and Everett Lane. Pretty sure they are on the same radio channel. We'll see if they can get something going on here. We'll see if they'll just hang out. Tell me what you're thinking about, ladies and gentlemen, here on lap 13. Hopefully, we're going to get to see some green flag pit stops. Edward Bray working along with Gary Whitmer and Everett Lane side by side with the number 74 of Abe Bowden. Still got a huge pack out here, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers doing a great job tonight, putting on a very, very good show. Two drivers I do want to take a look at. Jarrett Lipster, Tristan Beats, back in positions 19 and 20. Actually, these two drivers still driving along in the drive for diabetes awareness, the FDA. Tristan Beats, Jarrett Lipster, looking like a couple of Twinkies out here, matching vehicles. Young guns across the rear end of those Chevy Camaros. Big shout out to Jarrett Lipster and Tristan Beats out here showing their support for the Drive for Diabetes. And in fact, they are pushing on the Drive for Diabetes awareness forward, being driven by Brent Hill. Brent Hill, number 4. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that is a sight to see right there. Jarrett Lipster, Tristan Beats, pushing on to the number 4 Drive for Diabetes awareness right there. Sitting in 15th and 19th and 21st, working hand in hand. Big shout out to these young drivers out here doing a great job. Going to check in with another young driver, the number 11, Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn right now in position 21, choosing to stay near the back of the field tonight early on. Ryan Kuhn driving the 3M, showing his support. They will be approaching the lap traffic soon to be up. The number 7 of Chuck Dix. Chuck Dix scraping that wall. Chuck Dix scraping the wall. We are 3 wide with Chuck Dix. Chuck Dix staying up there out of the way as the number 11 does ride by very smoothly, very carefully. Big shout out there to the number 11, Ryan Kuhn. All drivers out here doing a very good job tonight. Lap 16, 7 lead changes, no cautions as of yet. Back up to the front, getting a little bit anxious up there. Getting those cameras back onto the number 48 of Steve Dukes. Steve Dukes, as I mentioned earlier, he does know when to hold them, but he does know when to get out there and get her going. Steve Dukes giving a little bit of love there to the number 57 of Wally Tierheimer. Right now, these drivers are basically trapped down into that inside lane. Really nowhere for Steve to go. Really nowhere for Wally to go. Side by side with Wally is the number 24 of Everett Lane. Now, Everett Lane and Edward Bray definitely in a position to go. But here on lap 17, knowing they are just about 12 laps away from a green flag pit stop, wanting to make sure they give the fans what they want to see, and that is a green flag racing. Edward Bray nor Everett Lane nary a chance of jeopardizing a caution this early on. But Everett Bray once again onto the rear end of the number 5 with Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer being very careful out here, currently in third position on that inside, riding along in position 5. Big shout out to Gary Whitmer. One more position ahead of Gary is the 02 of Mitchell Reeves out here with Southeast. Now watching that line being driven by Mitchell Reeves, I keep thinking he's wanting to go that 3 wide. He's keep trying to saying to Gary Whitmer, let's get out there and go that 3 wide. But in fact, he is not. He is trying to get some air onto the right side. That Southeast Motorsports car. Back onto the rear end of the number 73 of Justin Anderson. Trying to get as much air as he can, knowing green flag pit stops are coming up. Justin Anderson, James O'Brown, large and in charge out here in race 1 of the Monday Night Mania Series. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Let's get a sound on these engines. Let's see if we can get that crank it up cam. Want to hear these engines roar out here tonight on lap 19. Gary Whitmer out here getting a lot of love from Mom Becky Whitmer out here. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday after next, special race coming to you from the Whitmer family. The salute to the troops. And we're going to be doing a lot of talking about our military heroes out there. Saturday the 18th, pad race on Sunday the 19th. Cameras locked and loaded on these front six tonight, doing a very great job. Patience being shown out here 9 laps away from green flag pit stops. 33 drivers out here on this lead lap tonight. Unfortunately, one driver already a lap down. Chuck Dix being 1 lap down, riding around very safely there in the rear of the pack though. Number 4, Brent Kill in the rear of the pack. Looking like Brent Kill might be in trouble. Number 4, Brent Kill dropping way back, losing a lot of steam. Not sure if Brent Kill is working his way to the rear of the field or if he is indeed in a little bit of trouble. But just a few minutes ago, Brent Kill was up there in 14th, 15th position. Right now, Brent Kill stuck out there on that outside lane, almost all the way to the rear of the field, currently side by side with the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Not quite sure what is going on with Brent Kill, dropping way back, losing at least 8 spots there, staying up high. If he does not get down under the draft of the number 76 of Ronald Klein, he will be just completely out of luck. Moving forward to the number 76 of Ronald Klein, looking very sharp out here tonight as he is onto the rear end of the number 32 of Colin Bauer. Colin Bauer trying to chase down the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. Unfortunately, the number 91 of Joel Guy having some difficulties right there, and he is pulling off. What a trooper there. Joel Guy having some internet issues. Getting off that track. Thank you, Mr. Joel Guy. I tell you what, that could have been ugly. Big shout out to Joel Guy making the right decision out here tonight. Not wanting to disturb anybody else's race, but having a little bit of an internet issue there. Playing Casper the Ghost. Now I see you. Now I don't. That may be fun for me and you, ladies and gentlemen. But at 196 miles per hour, it's no fun when I can't see you. Jumping ahead, looking at the number 78 of Donald Stewart, side by side with the number 62 of Sean Dower, the number 11 of Ryan Kuhn, side by side now as that outside lane does begin to pick up. Donald Stewart driving the Abilene Camaro tonight, looking very sharp out here. Donald Stewart always does a good job for KMA Racing. Donald Stewart side by side with the number 18 of Jay Anderson. These drivers should be getting ready to make some pit road decisions. Going to work our way back up to the front of the pack. Going to put those cameras on Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves down onto that inside lane. Second car on the inside lane, pushing on. Justin Anderson, Gary Whitmer, Edward Bray. Gary Whitmer, number 66, Edward Bray on that outside lane. Gary Whitmer is actually to the front of the pack. Gary Whitmer Jr. to the front of the pack, getting help with Edward Bray, side by side with Justin Anderson. Matthew Whitmer saying, "Go, Gary, go." 78, Donald Stewart. 78, Donald Stewart. Donald Stewart going into pit row for a round of green flag pit stops along with the number 33 of Vernon Markheim. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen. 78, Donald Stewart going into pit row for our first round. We've got 4 drivers actually gone into pit row. Cameras locked on Donald Stewart. We had Abe Bowden going in, as well as Brent Kill, Ronald Klein. Great pit row action. Cameras locked on though. Donald Stewart taking tires, obviously taking fuel. Donald Stewart pulling out of pit row behind number 33 of Vernon Markheim, number 74. Good pit stop Nielsen line as well. Looking at the number 78 of Donald Stewart getting onto Vernon Markheim. Drivers do have to stay below this yellow line all the way around the corner into your onto the flat of that backstretch. Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, green flag pit stops here at Talladega on lap 26. Good job by Donald Stewart. Back up to the front. Justin Anderson, Gary Whitmer Jr. More green flag pit stops will be coming around very soon. These drivers up here in front should be the next ones going in. Now these drivers cannot get stuck out on that outside lane. Right now, Gary Whitmer and Edward Gray, Everett, in a precarious situation right now. They are up on that outside lane, meaning they can't get down onto that inside lane until that inside lane opens up. They should have the same fuel load as the drivers opposite them. And somebody could very easily get trapped on that outside lane and run out of fuel. Keeping cameras focused up on these leaders to see how they're going to negotiate this. Gary Whitmer, Edward Bray, Everett Lane need to be thinking about getting down. 3 wide with the number 32 up there in front. Justin Anderson side by side with Gary Whitmer Jr. racing it out for position 1. Gary Whitmer clear of that inside lane. He does go down. Nary a contact. 3 wide in the front, 3 wide in the front. Gary Whitmer, hang on to her, brother, Gary. That could have been very ugly, but great control right there by Justin Anderson and Gary Whitmer. Great control right there by Gary Whitmer. Thought we were going to see the big one right there, but Gary Whitmer doing a great job holding her back in. Great awareness, but knowing he's got about 2 laps to get down there onto that inside lane. Outside lane starting to fall apart a little bit, possibly looking for a hole. Cameras focusing on Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves. We do expect these leaders to be going in any point in time. And 73, Justin Anderson. 73, Justin Anderson will be pitting. Pit row coming up in front. And we have got 73, Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves heading into pit row along with James O. Brown side by side into pit row with James O. Brown and Mitchell Reeves. Cameras locked and loaded on 73, Justin Anderson. Green flag pit stops here on lap 29. Always love seeing these green flag pit stops. We also have seen Raymond Rittenauer in pit row, as well as the number 9. Number 9 of Alan Larson, number 73, pulling out with 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Word on the track, more green flag pit stops coming up with Gary Whitmer Jr., Everett Lane, Nathan Sylvia, Edward Bray, locked and loaded on Gary Whitmer Jr. We have got 9 of them in pit row, ladies and gentlemen, everybody's keeping cameras locked and loaded on the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Heavy, crazy lap stuff going on there in pit row. Gary Whitmer going into pit row, cameras locked on. Gary Whitmer. Green flag pit stops for Gary Whitmer. Look at these drivers pulling out of pit row. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never in my life seen pit row so busy. Gary Whitmer pulling out with the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster and the 211 of Tristan Beats Three KMA drivers needing to work together. Tristan Beats, Jarrett Lipster. Possible penalty onto the number 5 of Gary Whitmer, but I'm not sure. Gary Whitmer way below speed right now. Must have had a little bit of difficulty there in pit row. Not quite sure what is going on right there with the number 5, but well below pace as he does try to get back up onto the rear end of Sean Dower. I'm thinking Gary must have got a speeding penalty, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, I tell you what, we had some green flag action right there. Right now we got to pay the bills. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with you.
It was more than impressive, I have to say. I mean, the track is identical to the real track. I was blown away how realistic it is. Every little bump, every little spray paint, everything is exactly like you were there at the track. It was a great experience.
This is a warm-up lap now. Tires to get warmed up. The engine. Breathe a little bit here when you go through that little bump there. And then it's flat pretty much all the way through here, just about. Hard braking. This is the slowest part of the track.
And then I've done, I did many races in Formula 3, Formula 2. And then I did the very last race they did there in Group C in 1983 in the 956 Porsche. That's when Beloff got the lap record at the 6:11. I think I was second on the grid with the 6:14 or something, which was, I mean, those cars were awesome around there, of course, like any car is, that speed.
And this is the corner of all corners here, the Schwedenkreuz. Flat all the way into it. Then trail brake all the way into the apex here. And then hard at it again to get good speed down the hill here. Mega fast down this hill here. Just jump from one apex to the next. Got to be super precise here.
I mean, it's almost exactly like the real thing. So, I mean, it is certainly realistic enough to get past the very, a lot of the initial hurdles you have when you try to learn to drive a race car, So, I mean, I think it's an excellent tool to learn how to race. Drive a car on a racetrack.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, up here at the front with Edward Bray. Edward Bray on that inside lane, working along with the number 48 of Steve Boots. Alrighty, just to catch you up, ladies and gentlemen, underneath that commercial break, it was confirmed that Everett Lane did get the penalty, Gary Whitmer did get a penalty, and the number 40 of Greg McClendon doing a self-spin out, but no flag was thrown. We are on lap 36 of 100, and we are caution-free, watching Edward Bray, Steve Boots, Nathan Sylvia down onto that inside lane with a 3-on-3 on Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves, and Wally Tierheimer. Green flag action out here tonight at Talladega. Big shout out to the fans out there. They are approaching the slower traffic of 004. I do believe Michael Johnson, I do believe that's 004. I may be wrong, and it is indeed That'll mix things up in the front as Steve Dukes and Nathan Sylvia leaving the number 66 high and dry down onto that inside lane. A little bit of a maximum velocity, and Edward Bray is getting hung out. Edward Bray is down on that inside by himself, dropping in positions. He has now dropped down to 5th position, doing everything he can. Hopefully, Wally Tierheimer or Mitchell Reeves will come down and give him a hand. Right now, side by side, hanging on to that side-by-side draft with Wally Tierheimer, trying to get up there to the rear end. Go, Edward, go. But Wally Tierheimer has got such a pull off of the draft of the number 2 of Mitchell Reeves. Trying hard to get caught up. Trying to get caught up to the number 57. Looks like Wally's going to help him out. We're going to get real busy up here with the lap traffic, ladies and gentlemen. Busy, busy, busy. Cameras focused on the number 73. Going to be splitting some lap traffic here. Judd Danielson and the number 38 will be splitting and staying out of the way. The number 38 is driven by Danny Rudy. Watching the number 73 battle his way up through this middle pack. Great racing, ladies and gentlemen. All these drivers up here, they are not leaders. A lot of lap traffic. The only leaders out here is number 48, Steve Dukes, Nathan Sylvia, number 14, Justin Anderson, and Mitchell Reeves, Wally, and Edward. The entire low lane, folks, the 25, the 27, and the number 85, Judd Danielson. They are lap traffic. Big shout out though to the number 85 of Judd Danielson, Domino's TYJ. Check them out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Number 48, Steve Dukes in the lead tonight here on lap 38. Going down to that inside lane with Nathan Sylvia. Steve Dukes, Nathan Sylvia starting to gain a little bit of momentum. Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves still on that outside lane trying to make a go of it here. We are on lap 39, almost to the halfway point. I already seen one round of green flag pit stops. Lap traffic up to number 25, Landon Sardella, racing hard with the leaders up here. He is allowed to do that. He can do that. He can get up here and help his teammates. He needs to be up to speed, and he is doing a very good job tonight, up to speed, by now trying to help out the number 48 of Nathan Sylvia, the number 48 of Steve Dukes, and the number 14 of Nathan Sylvia, as they are racing side by side with Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves. And look in the rearview mirror of Mitchell Reeves, we have got Wally Tierheimer. One position back, though, is Edward Bray and Everett Lane. Everett Lane did get a speeding penalty. I do believe he is one lap down, but he is bound and determined to help his good friend, the number 66 of Edward Bray. Right now, Edward Bray sitting in a very solid 6th, doubling his qualifying position of 12th tonight. Edward Bray doing a great job out here tonight, keeping a respectable distance off of the rear end of the number 7 of Wally Tierheimer. Wally Tierheimer following Mitchell Reeves around this track tonight. Mitchell Reeves pushing the number 73 of Justin Anderson side by side with Steve Dukes and Nathan Sylvia. Green flag racing out here on lap 41. Alrighty, let's talk about some of these lap times out here, folks. Justin Anderson right now pulling down a lap time of a 48.890 compared with the slightly faster time of Nathan Sylvia with a 48.729. Edward Bray with a 48.772. Mitchell Reeves, 48.777. Drivers pulling down top speeds out here of 188, 198, 199 at best. No drivers able to top that 200 mile per hour speed limit tonight in these Xfinity class cars, but not for lack of trying. Outside lane being controlled by Steve Dukes and Justin Anderson. Nathan Sylvia, Justin Anderson coming up on the outside with Mitchell Reeves. Some drivers will be needing to go into pit row again as early as lap 56. Most of these drivers should be looking at about 58 to 61. Are approaching the lap traffic of the number 74 of Abe Bowden and the number 40 of Greg McClendon, 3 wide with the lap traffic up there in the front. The lap traffic staying high. Big shout out there to the number 74 Abe Bowden and the number 40 of Blaze Pizza, but Everett Lane to the outside lane, Everett Lane back to the inside lane. Not sure if he was wanting Edward Bray to go with him right there or not, but Everett Lane right now sticking very tight with the number 66 of Edward Bray. Edward Bray currently in position 6, just riding along. Dropping back to the number 85 of Judd Danielson. Judd Danielson currently in position 26. Judd Danielson 1 lap down. What a trooper hanging out tonight, looking very good in the Domino's TYJ. Be sure to check out Domino's TYJ Wednesdays and Thursdays live broadcast brought to you by All Pro Broadcasting. Judd Danielson out here trying to get his lap back. Definitely is not the first driver though, a lap down. 2 spots in front of Judd Danielson is number 25. 25, third position on that inside lane. Landon Ciaradello is the first driver, a lap down. So there is really some racing going on along with Landon, Lee Ryerson, Everett Lane, and Judd Danielson. These 4 drivers are all 1 lap down. They are racing one another for that lucky dog. Right now, the number 25 of Landon Ciaradello, if that caution does fly, and he is undeemed, if he is unscratched, he will get that lucky dog. In the event he is scratched up, number 29, Lee Ryerson, will receive it. In the event that Lee Ryerson is stepped up, Everett Lane will get it. The track position right now, folks, for the lap traffic drivers, as important, if not more important, than those of our race leaders. Race leaders right now, Steve Dukes, Nathan Sylvia on the inside, number 73, Justin Anderson, and Mitch Reeves on that outside. And there still is Wally, and there still is Edward Bray, still in position 6, showing an extreme amount of patience out here on lap 46, almost to the halfway point in race 1 of the Monday Night Mania series, brought to you by Richard Brose. Unfortunately, Richard Brose out with a mechanical failure early on, but nonetheless, we love Richie. Make sure you check out Richie B's Pizza out there on Facebook. If you're out there in Dothan, Alabama, get in there. Italian-style sandwiches, New York subs, everything you could want. Richie B out there delivering. But Steve Deuce out here tonight delivering a great race out here on lap 47. 22 drivers out here on the lead lap. Brent Kill, our 22nd driver. Great racing up front, folks. I tell you what, these drivers are large and in charge. Being very careful to give one another a lot of love. And that's what it's all about out here with KMA Racing. Trying to get out here and have a good time. And tonight, these drivers, such great driving being done out here tonight. Gives me a chance to drop back into the middle of the pack. Going to take a look one more time at Raymond Rittenauer. Raymond Rittenauer right now in position 10. Getting onto the rear end of the 00, James O.O. Brown. James Brown in position 9. Raymond Rittenauer in position 10. Racing against the number 11 of Ryan Kuhn and the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Now, one more time, folks, there is that young driver, Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn doing a great job out here tonight, started 23rd, currently in position 7. This is the second pack of drivers. First pack does consist of 6 lead lap cars. Right now, looking at the number 11 of Ryan Kuhn with the number 76 hot on his tail. Ronald James doing a great job. One position back, though, looking at Danny Rudy. Danny Rudy, position 28, looking a little bit desperate out here, doing everything he can. Seeming to have some struggles trying to pick a lane of which he would want to go into. Right now he is down that inside lane onto the rear end of the 33 of Vernon Markheim. Right now back up on that outside lane, trying to catch a little bit of draft. They're off of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Does get around the number 33 of Vernon Markheim, ducks back down to that inside lane. Danny Rudy tonight looking like he is on a mission. He is one lap down. Number 99, Jarrett Lipster, attempting with that apron. Danny Rudy almost near contact with Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein onto the rear end of the number 11 of Ryan Kuhn. A lot of action back here, ladies and gentlemen, in this middle pack. Once again, Danny Rudy up to that middle lane, trying to get Vernon Markheim to go with him on here as we do approach lap 50, but the number 38 of Donald Stewart, or Danny Rudy, is indeed one lap down, trying to work his way up to the front. He's got a long way to go to get up to the other lap traffic. But the good thing about it is the caution does come out up front, and those lap traffic drivers up in front get caught up. It could very easily land the number 38, Danny Rudy, with that lucky dog position. Danny Rudy almost up to the rear end of the number 76, opting to go down to that inside lane, catching draft off of the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Jarrett Lipster onto the rear end of the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, side by side with Ryan Kuhn. Raymond Rittenauer all over the rear end of James O.O. Brown here on lap 50. Great racing by that second pack right there, but let's get back up here to the front. We are just past the halfway point. Checking in with our leaders, Steve Dutz, Nathan Sylvia, Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves, Wally and Edward, our top six. Now again, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like a mighty big pack up here in the front, and it indeed is, but there are only 6 drivers on that lead lap. Taking a look at Edward Bray, Everett Lane, going into a 3-wide run. Edward Bray on that outside, getting a lot of help from Everett Lane. Edward Bray up there to the front, almost side by side with Mitchell Reeves. Lines 1, 2, and 3 definitely staggered. Edward Bray getting everything he can from the number 24 of Everett Lane, but that middle lane being led by the number 73 of Justin Anderson and Mitchell Reeves. The center right now seemingly to have the faster line. Steve Dutz fighting back onto that inside lane. Drivers neck and neck, and caution is out. Ladies and gentlemen, we do know that the number 38 of Danny Rudy was involved in it. Going to back up those cameras and take a look at Danny Rudy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I did mention that Danny Rudy was looking a little bit rough out here. And indeed, Danny Rudy does break completely loose. Just completely losing it right there. And the number 38 of Danny Rudy will bring out our first caution of the night, getting loose off the rear end of Ronald Klein, coming across track into the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. I do believe the number 87, indeed, of Raymond Rittenauer, out there hanging out all by his lonesome. And Raymond Rittenauer getting the worst end of it tonight here on lap 53. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this will be our first caution of the night. 19 lead changes. What a great race out here tonight. Unfortunately, though, Danny Rudy did bring out our first caution of the night. Going to give us a chance to get in some driver interviews as soon as these drivers do get in and out of pit row. Here with KMA Racing and APB, we do our best to promote safe driving. So we're going to give these drivers a chance to get in here to pit row under caution, get their tires fixed up, get their fuel load fixed up, And as soon as they are back out here, we're going to talk to a couple of our race leaders. Great racing out here. One caution, 20 lead changes out here tonight in the opening night of Monday Night Mania. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to me out there on that All-Pro Broadcasting chat. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, type it up. Those caution barricades and saying, oh no, say it isn't so. But I tell you what, folks, we had 53 green flag laps right there. Great racing out here. Does appear that Steve Dutz, I am thinking Steve Dutz was the fastest gentleman right there in pit row, and he will be first driver out of pit row. We did have some drivers stay out, so that situation will not last, but nonetheless, we're going to get a chat in with Steve Dutz. How about it, Steve Dutz? Have you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, what a race tonight. Great racing out here. Had some green flag pit stops. Drivers having a good time out here. Tell me all about it.
Oh, it's a great race. It's been going really well. A lot of fuel strategy going on. It's been a hell of a race. I've enjoyed every second of it. I wish a lot of races. I don't even know what to say. It's crazy.
All righty. Well, I tell you what. You're out here putting on one heck of a show. How does it feel to be up there in front, going almost 200 miles an hour?
Oh, it feels really good. It's just wish I'd be on the high line, but that's kind of the preferred line here. But I'll take any line as long as I'm leading.
All righty, copy that. Good luck to you tonight.
All right, good luck.
And that is Steve Dutz. Going to get a chance to talk to our number 2 spot, Edward Bray. How about it, Edward Bray? Have you got a copy, sir? Doing good. You're doing a great job out here, doing a great job controlling this field. Talk to me about what's going on out here tonight.
Lots of great racing. A lot of great green flag pit stops. So hoping that we can have some more of what we had in the first half.
All righty, copy that. Now, we were talking to Steve, and he was wishing he could be up there on that outside lane. We were watching you and Everett work that 3 wide side by side. You were on the outside lane. Where do you want to be at just over the halfway point, inside or outside?
I want to be on the outside, try to get that run, and probably try to hold the middle lane for a while, and do another green flag pit stop, and then come back out, and hopefully I'll have some more of my teammates behind me, and we can bring KMA to the win.
All right, copy that real quick. Tell me about the ride you're riding in.
That's the Reaper. Thanks to Loose Lug Nuts with Over the Top Trading Paints. He's done all my paints, and definitely appreciate all the work he does. And I'll keep going back and forth between the Reaper and the Punisher.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you tonight out here, Mr. Reaper and Mr. Punisher.
Thanks, Scott.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, big shout out to Over the Top Paints and Designs there with John Hedrick, Billy Wise, a couple other drivers out there getting their paintbrushes wet, keeping these drivers looking good and pretty out here. Steve Dutz, Edward Bray, Nathan Sylvia, Wally Tierheimer, and Justin Anderson taking care of our top 5. Ryan Kuhn, Mitchell Reeves, James O'Brown, Ronald Klein, Vernon Markheim, rounding out our top 10. The young guns, Jarrett and Tripster Tristan, 11th and 12th, along with Sean Gower, position 13th. And there he is, Becky Whitmer, Gary Whitmer, still in it, still alive, P14. Big shout out to Gary Whitmer, great videographer. Check out GW Graphics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one caution, 21 lead changes. We are on lap 57. Getting down to go time with these drivers. Drivers are on, 1 to go, getting ready to roll. Just a reminder, all starts and restarts are done on leader's discretion. Drivers getting a little bit antsy right now out here on lap 57. Going to see a lot more three-wide action, but what these drivers do have to keep in mind is that fuel load one more time. Most of these drivers did indeed go into pit row. Now, if that's the case, we're looking at 57, 67, 77, 87. These drivers possibly being able to stretch it out to lap 88. At that point in time, having to go into pit road, take about a half a tank of fuel, or they can sit here and go in on lap 71, knowing if they fill her up on lap 71, they will be good to go. Decisions is what these drivers are going to have to start thinking about here tonight in the final laps of race 1 of Monday Night Mania, brought to you by Richie B's Pizza. Great racing out here. Steve Dukes side by side with Edward Bray on our first restart of the night. Pace car is in. Steve Dukes holding. 77 miles per hour. He is holding it. Edward Bray is ready. He's watching him. He's watching him, and there he goes. Steve Dukes onto that loud pedal, just a little bit faster than that outside lane. But Wally is not going to disappoint. The number 66, Edward Bray tonight. Nathan Sylvia tucking up real tight onto Steve Dukes. Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves down onto that inside lane, doing a great job. Now, folks, Edward Bray, Steve Dukes both made mention onto that outside lane, hoping to stay on that outside lane. Doing a great job out here on lap 58. Edward Bray out there by a nose. Side-by-side action with Steve Dukes and Edward Bray. Wally Terheimer and Nathan Sylvia, respectively. Number 11 of Ryan Kuhn. That 15-year-old Wildcat right now in position 6th up from his qualifying spot of 23. Drivers are working their way towards lap 60. Steve Dukes commanding that inside lane. Edward Bray all over that outside lane. Wally just following Edward around here, turning some green flag laps. Still a little bit early for go time. Again, these drivers, you got to keep in mind their upcoming pit situation. Again, don't want to get caught up on that outside lane, but if you're going to be on that outside lane, it's getting to the point, why not take it some 3 wide? There will come a point in time in the next 15 laps that a few of these drivers are going to get bored with this double foul action. Jumping back, taking a look at the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Ronald Klein right now in position 9, appearing to take up a little bit of real estate out there. Might be a little bit loose on the tire situation. Not sure if Ronald took tires or not. Some drivers do not think they need tires out here on these speedways. Some drivers know you need tires. Number 76, Ronald Klein, seemingly to settle down a little bit. Onto the rear end of the 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Side by side with the purple and black DFDA attack, the Young Guns, Jarrett Lipster. Looking very sharp out there in the purple and black, showing their support for Drive for Diabetes Awareness. Side by side with Ronald Klein and Vernon Margheim. This is going to come down to some teamwork situation. I'll go ahead and tell you the folks out here who I think is going to be teaming up. Well, we do know that Jarrett Lipster and Tristan Meets. Ronald Klein is loose. Ronald Klein is loose. Ronald Klein near catastrophe right there, but what a save. Ronald Klein side by side with Jarrett Lipster and Tristan Beats, but he did get a little bit loosey-goosey right there. He did save it though. Ronald Klein down on that inside lane, taking up a lot of real estate. One more time, Ronald Klein getting loose. Ronald Klein getting loose one more time. Ronald Klein seemingly to be struggling a little bit here on lap 62. Number 211, Tristan Meets, giving him plenty of room. Number 33, Vernon Markheim, on his rear end, as the number 99 does come down in front of the number 76 of Ronald Klein. That will put Jarrett Lipster and Tristan Beats side by side. Ronald Klein falling backwards just a couple of car spots, letting the 211 of Tristan Beats in. That will allow the number 99 and 211 Tristan Beats and Jarrett Lipster down onto that inside lane. Ronald Klein side by side with the number 78 of Donald Stewart, seemingly to lose a little bit of momentum here in the latter half of tonight's race. Up to the side of the number 62 of Sean Dower, trying to get up there onto the draft of the 211 of Tristan Beats. Number 76, Ronald Klein, seemingly to get her straightened out tonight on lap 63, but a little bit of a rough start right there. Getting it back together. Good job, Ronald Klein, going forward up there. One spot to the number 211 of Tristan Beats, working with the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster down on that inside lane. Became a Young Guns, trying to work their way to the front here on lap 63. In front of Jarrett Lipster, we have got the number 11, Ryan Kuhn. We're passing the lap traffic of the 004. Thank you, lap traffic, for staying out of the way tonight. Ryan Kuhn, third position on the inside, side by side with Wally Tierheimer. Wally Tierheimer pushing on Edward Bray. Edward Bray, Steve Dukes, positions 1 and 2. Nathan Sylvia staying on 2. The number 48 of Steve Dukes, like a tick on a coon dog on a hot summer day. Nathan Sylvia, Steve Dukes, doing a great job on that inside lane, but equally as well as Edward Bray and Wally Tierheimer on that outside lane. Outside lane, the preferred lane of Edward Bray. These drivers, number 76, Ronald Klein. 76, Ronald Klein, going for a spin. Ronald Klein out of control. Do not see that the caution will be flying, though. Unfortunate break for Ronald Klein, getting loose, going for a spin. That will bring out the caution, ladies and gentlemen, as the number 76 of Ronald Klein does go for a ride, breaking down onto that apron. And Ronald Klein completely no contact with any other driver as he does break loose. But after he was breaking loose, there was a little bit of contact side by side with the number 40 of Greg McClendon, as Greg McClendon comes into contact with the number 6, being driven by Chris Hogue. I do believe, do not quote me on that number, but I do believe that was the number 6 of Chris Hogue that actually did get loose and throw the caution. Chain of events right there triggered by Ronald Klein, causing the number 64 of Lee Staples to check up. And as the number 64 of Lee Staples did check up, there was contact with the number 6 of Chris Hogue. And Chris Hogue coming down onto the number 40. A lot of stuff going on right there, folks. But essentially, Ronald Klein getting loose and the drivers reacting the best they can. But a little bit of chaos did ensue. That will bring out a very interesting situation up here with the front, watching Steve Dukes and Edward Bray, and Nathan Sylvia and Wally Tierheimer heading into pit row. Ryan Kuhn, Justin Anderson, leaders going into pit row. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more commercial we are going to get through, and then we're going to be right back here out with you to finish up tonight's race. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are underneath our second caution of the evening. We have got Everett Lane out there in the front. Going to give us a chance to get in a quick interview with Everett Lane. How about it, Everett Lane? We got a copy, sir. Everett Lane.
I sure do. How you doing, buddy?
Great. You're putting on a good show. Now, you were a lap down just a little bit ago. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, I was. I made a little driver error coming out of pit road. Got a speeding penalty, so I had to go in for 15 seconds. But ran real hard, got out the head up there to third, and got me on the lead lap. Put me in a good position there, and the caution came out. So we'll see what happens here.
And now you're out there in the front.
How about that? Hey, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
I love it, Everett. All right, from a lap down to the leader. Good luck to you, Everett Lane.
Thank you, Scott. Have a good time up there, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now what do you think about that? Talk to me, Everett Lane. Speeding penalty in pit row early on. One lap down. Raced his way back. And right now, he is out in the front, but the question is the disco's green flag, will he have enough fuel? I do not know, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking at 30 laps to go. These guys' fuel window is 29 to 31. He may be rolling on fumes. Everett Lane, side by side with Alan Larson, Ryan Kuhn, James O. Brown. We do know that Alan Larson and James O. Brown will be partners in crime for the endurance of tonight's race. Big shout out to James O. Brown, representing Cora. Alan Larson representing Max Mounts in conjunction with Pat. Pace car in. Everett Lane waiting. Everett Lane waiting. 81 miles per hour. 82. 83. 84. And there goes Everett Lane. Nobody else expecting Everett Lane to go like that, as the number 9 of Alan Larson does fall back down into that inside lane behind Ryan Kuhn, leaving James O. Brown by himself onto that outside lane. James O. Brown coming down behind the rear end of the number 62 of Sean Dower. Sean Dower tonight qualifying in 24th. Right now in position 4th with the run, going to the middle. Sean Dower going to the middle with James O. Brown here on lap 70, side-by-side action for the lead. Sean Dower, James O. Brown what a run they have got out there on that outside lane here on lap 70. Side-by-side action with Everett Lane. Sean Dower around Everett Lane. Sean Dower down to the inside. 3-wide action there with the number 25. I do believe the number 25 is indeed lap traffic, and he is 3 wide. Ivan Garcia, number 72. Ivan Garcia, number 72. 3-wide action right there with Ivan Garcia driving the McDonald's Ford. Oh, Ivan, go. I do believe, though, Ivan Garcia is going to be in position 7th. Ivan Garcia tagging on to the rear end of the number 18 of Jay Anderson. Ivan Garcia progressing his way to the front of the pack here on lap 71. Ivan Garcia in that middle lane, going to give a little bit of love to Jay Anderson. Go, Ivan, go. He is almost there. Ivan Garcia saying, I think I can. I think I can. Ivan Garcia pushing on the number 18. 18 being driven by Jay Anderson to the front of the pack tonight. Jay Anderson qualifying in at 19th, back on position 1. 3-wide action with Jarrett Lipster, number 99, and 66 of Edward Bray. 3-wide action with Steve Newton, Ryan Kuhn, Edward Bray, and Jarrett Lipster taking that 3-wide action on that outside lane. No one, they've got to get her done. Edward Bray smacking the wall. Edward Bray is loose. Unfortunate break for Edward Bray. And that will bring out the next caution of the night. I tell you what, folks, that is a heartbreaker for Edward Bray. Backing it up to our replay with GW Graphics. GW Graphics taking on our replay tonight. Edward Bray doing something very unusual. Smacking the wall, getting loose, and coming into the rear end of the number 78 of Donald Stewart, and across the bow of the number 25 of Landon Ciradella, the number 9 of Alan Larson, being caught up into it as well. And unfortunately, I do believe that Wally Tierheimer getting a little bit of piece of that action, as well as the number 14 of Nathan Sylvia and the number 7 of Chuck Dick. So I want to tell you what, folks, that is a shocker for the number 66 of Edward Bray. I do believe this is the first caution that gentleman has brought out in possibly 15, 20, 30 races. Edward Bray, very dignified driver, using the Oculus 360, but a little bit of a tail whip into that wall, seeing the sparks fly, and that will bring out our third caution of the night. But I do know that we're going to see Edward Bray right back in it very soon. Going to give us a chance to get in a driver interview or two. Going to take a chat with the number 18 of Jay Anderson. How about it, Jay Anderson? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, I do.
Doing a great job out here tonight. We are getting down into the closing laps. What are your thoughts on the closing laps?
Yeah, go as hard as I can, turn left, stay out of trouble, but I definitely going to have to make another. I'm going to be a little short on fuel, so that's going to hurt me. Unless we get another yellow, I can duck in and get out quick.
Now, are you absolutely positive on short of fuel? Did you pit during our last caution?
The last one I did, yeah, but I think I'm going to be short, put it that way.
All right, copy that. Well, I was thinking with a few drivers out here, they were going to be short, but underneath these cautionary laps, you do save a little bit. So keep in touch with your spot, or anybody out here you'd like to give a shout out to, Jay.
Oh, it's just, you guys for putting it on and having a good race. And it's nice to race with some of my old friends I used to race with back in the quarter days and stuff. So I'm having a blast. So I'm clutching it, trying to save all the gas I can, and hopefully we got enough to finish it.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you, Jay.
Okay, thank you.
Jay Anderson putting on a hell of a good show out here tonight. Big shout out to Jay Anderson and the boys over there at Cora. Going to give me a chance for one more driver interview.
I was about to
How
go
about
and
it,
get a
Tristan
black
Beach? Tristan Beats, have you got a copy?
What's going on, Scott?
I'm seeing you're right there in position 6, looking out good, looking real good out here tonight, representing the Young Guns. I fear you may have lost one of your partners out here, though, but talk to me about your race so far.
It's been really good tonight, Scott. Everyone's been racing real hard. We got some green flag pits in. I did get doored a few times, but I've been able to pull it back up, and now I'm in 6th. I couldn't decide if I wanted to pit in or not, but kind of got decided by the people behind me that were still trying to get back into position, and by the time we got back up by the pit stalls, or by the pits, sorry, they just weren't up there, so they kind of decided it for me. So hopefully I can stretch this fuel to the end and take it home.
Alrighty. I wish you the best of luck up here. Talk to us real quick about that DFDA paint job you're sporting out.
Yeah, Scott, this DFDA paint, it actually means quite a bit to me. I was diagnosed with diabetes about 4 or 5 years ago. Actually closer to 6 now, I think. And the only reason why I survived is because someone at the doctor's office decided to check and not guess.
All right, copy that. Looking very sharp out here, Tristan. Good luck to you and the KMA Young Guns.
Thanks, Scott.
Jay Anderson, James O'Brown, Ivan Garcia out there in position 3 tonight. Sean Dyer, position 4. Steve Dukes out there in position 5. What a show these drivers are putting on out here tonight. Big shout out to the fans out there. Donald Sadusky out there joining us on that broadcasting chat, rooting on his brothers. Martha Tierheimer, big shout out to Martha Tierheimer out here tonight, rooting on her son, Wally Tierheimer. Taking a quick glance at Wally Tierheimer. Wally Tierheimer currently is in 27th position, 1 lap down. But all is not lost out here for Wally Tierheimer. Plenty of time for Wally to get his way back up to the front. We do have 21 drivers on that lead lap. Drivers are lining up on for hopefully their final restart of the night. Been a very good race out here tonight. I believe only 3 cautions and a whole bunch of lane changing going out here. The dominators out here tonight so far have been Jay Anderson, Edward Brace, Steve Dukes, Mitchell Reeves, Justin Anderson. Raymond Rittenauer has been putting on a mighty good show out here. Everett Lane, 1 lap down to a speeding penalty, worked his way back up to first place. Right now he is doing our 3rd restart of the night in position 11. Great action out here. It is anybody's game out here. Big shout out to the fans out there. Donald Sadusky, Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, Becky Tierheimer, Becky Whitmer, Martha Tierheimer. All the fans out there enjoying the show out here tonight in the opening night of Manic Monday, brought to you by Richie B's Pizza. This is race 1 of a 12-week series. Next week we are going to be heading down to Las Vegas, then over to Michigan, then over to Daytona, Texas, and Atlanta. A lot of great races coming up to you within the Monday night series. Tomorrow night with TNT, Tuesday night trucks. We're going to be going over to Bristol. Now and there, I don't know about that one. Bristol, one of those little bitty tracks. So tight and small, you blink your eye, it goes by. Be a very interesting night tomorrow night at Bristol. Drivers getting ready to go. Pace car is in, and there goes the number 18, Jay Anderson, loud and proud down there on that inside lane. Ivan Garcia not off to a very good start at all. A lot of distance between the second vehicle on that inside lane. That will open it up onto the outside for James O'Brown and Sean Dower in the number 62. Sean Dower, he needs to push the 0-0. James O'Brown right now for all he's worth, as that inside lane is losing momentum. James O'Brown, Sean are clear, and there they go, going down onto that inside lane. What a change of events very early on here of this 3rd restart. Number 211, Tristan Beats and Mitchell Reeves on that outside lane. Tristan Beats side by side with the number 18. Number 18 being driven by Jay Anderson. Tristan Beats, Mitchell Reeves working their way to the front here on lap 77. These drivers should be good to go on fuel. A couple of drivers a little bit unsure of that, but I'm pretty sure they'll be good underneath that cautionary lap. They were able to save a gallon or two, keeping cameras locked and loaded up on the side-by-side action with James O'Brown and the 211 of Tristan Beats. Mitchell Reeves giving everything he's got to Tristan Beats on that outside lane. Down goes Tristan Beats in front of Steve Dukes. Number 48, Steve Dukes loose. No caution will fly, but Steve Dukes taking and nicking, trying to keep on ticking, but unfortunately too much of a licking. But no caution will fly. Back up to the front. Number 62, Sean Dower, down onto that inside lane. Giving a big push to the number 211 of Tristan Beats, side by side with James O'Brown and Mitchell Reeves. On the rear end of Mitchell Reeves, there he is. Raymond Rittenauer, back from the dead, involved in an early caution on his backup vehicle tonight. Getting her done here on lap 79. James O'Brown down to that inside lane out there in front, opening that door on the outside for 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves right now working bumper to bumper with the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, racing against James O'Brown and Tristan Beats. Positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sean Dower sitting in fifth. Number 73 racing, number 73 for fifth position. On the rear end of Justin Anderson, looking at the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster, getting just a little bit wiggly squiggly right there. Jarrett Lipster in the purple and black. Caution is out. Ladies and gentlemen, we do know that Ronald Klein was involved in it. Not sure if Ronald Klein was at fault or not. We're going to back it up. We're going to take a look at it. Looking at the number 76 of Ronald Klein. Looking at the number 76 of Ronald Klein. And does take a left side turn along with the number 5. Unfortunately, the number 76 of Ronald Klein turning simultaneously with GW, turning both drivers going to the left. A little bit of net code going on right there. And the netcode situation, ladies and gentlemen, appearing between the number 76 of Ronald Klein and the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Not seeing any contact there as Ronald Klein does take a left-hand turn, as does Gary Whitmer. Edward Bray getting a little bit of a boost from the number 40 of Greg McClendon, as he did have to check up. But unfortunate break there for the number 76 of Ronald Klein, and some netcode bringing out our fourth caution of the night. A lot of drivers caught up in that one there. That is the big one, ladies and gentlemen. Edward Bray's night, unfortunately, will be ended, I do believe, along with the number 64, as well as a couple of lap drivers out there. Donald Stewart, the number 78, on his roof atop of the number 85 of Judd Danielson. Fourth caution, disaster on lap 80. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be a game changer out here. Gives us a chance to talk to a couple more drivers out here tonight. How about it, Mitchell Reeves? If you got a copy.
Hey, we got you, Scott.
How you doing out here tonight?
Been having a blast. It's been a great race so far. Me and Justin Harrison have really tried to keep control of this race, and it's getting crazy. That it was really calm the first 50, and now the last 50 is hit, and it's pedal to the metal for everybody now.
Well, I'll tell you what, that last caution right there, looking at it, we looked at it from several angles. Got some serious net code going on back there in the rear of the field. Just to give you a heads up there, drivers doing a great job out here tonight. What are your thoughts here? Going to be going back to green flag on lap 84. You're up here, large and in charge. Have you got, you mentioned Justin, have you got anybody else out here in this front pack working with you?
Yeah, I got Ray Rittenauer and Justin Anderson. Me and Justin have really worked well tonight. We basically had the outside controlled that whole entire start of the race. Had a little bit of issue on that last caution. For some reason, fuel didn't go in, but we got lucky, got through the big one two cautions ago with Edward Bray, unfortunately, and now we're back up here. I really think whoever's going to be on the outside on the last lap is going to win this race. We really haven't shown our hand yet of what we have on the outside. So if we can get, filed up here on the outside, I think it's going to be interesting. But there's a lot of good drivers out here, Scott. I mean, it's anybody's ball game, and that's why we're here at KMA. These races are, it takes a lot of luck to win these races, and sometimes a little bit of skill. But maybe we'll get lucky tonight and at least get a top 3 and a good start to the points. But just happy to still be running and have a quick fix left with less than 20 to go.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you and the guys over there at Southeast.
Southeast out.
Mitchell Reeves knows how to get her done tonight. Talks about how he is down there working along with the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. Raymond Rittenauer involved in an earlier caution, but doing a great job out here. Do have time for one more young Wildcat. You know who I want to talk to. How about it, Ryan Kuhn? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
All righty. I was going to get you in here. Our fans love talking to you. Mr. 15 years of age. What are your thoughts here, the closing laps?
These closing laps are definitely going to be 3 wide, so it's going to be a shootout to the finish, probably around 16 to 15 laps. Definitely 3 wide racing action. Definitely going to be some good racing up front, top 15-ish or so. So, definitely going to be one hell of a race, so see how it plays out.
All right, now I always ask these drivers about their car. Talk to me a little bit about the 3M.
Oh yeah, it's been a little bit edgy or sketchy pretty much through this race. So these Xfinity cars are pretty twitchy here, but I honestly like these better than the trucks because I feel like I have a lot more stability in the car. But that's my opinion, and everybody else has a different opinion. But my opinion, I love this series. I don't know. I just love this car from the start.
All righty, we hear the excitement in your voice. Good luck to you, Ryan.
Thank you.
How about it, James O. Brown? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
All righty, wanted to talk to you all night. Talk to me about how James O. Brown is doing tonight out here at Talladega.
All I've been doing is just taking whatever is given to me, and I ended up here. I'm trying not to be very aggressive. Just I don't want to say cruising, but like I said, just taking what's given me.
All right, copy that. Looking at that great paint job. Cora. Tell our fans all about Cora real quick.
Cora is a money racing league that we've been running in for the past 4 years now, and currently going to get started again this spring. And just watch for us on the pages, I guess.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you, James Brown.
Thank you, Scott.
And that is James Brown of Cora. Cora standing for Championship Online Racing Association, a veteran league out here within iRacing. James Brown working with Alan Larson tonight, but unfortunately I do believe Alan Larson getting caught up in a couple and out of engine for the night. So we're going to see what will happen up here with James Brown, representing Cora, Mitchell Reeves, Raymond Rittenauer, out there working for Southeast Motorsports, and Tristan Beats and Jarrett Lifster working it hard for KMA, and Everett Lane and Ivan Garcia running it with KMA in 9th and 10th. Jay Anderson working with, I'm honestly not sure who Jay Anderson is working with, probably the guy in front of him. But now that brings up an interesting conversation right there, folks. How deep does the dedication go? How deep does your love flow when we are at 5 to go? James O. Brown side by side with Mitchell Reeves. Raymond Rittenauer side by side with Tristan Beats. Getting ready to get back to green flag racing. 4 cautions, 33 lead changes in the opening race of Monday Night Mania. Pace car is in. James Brown holding side by side with Mitchell, 80 miles per hour, 81. He's holding, he's waiting, and away goes James Brown and Mitchell Reeves. What a start on that inside lane there by James Brown, Raymond Rittenmeyer, Justin Anderson, and the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Inside lane, much stronger. Jarrett Lipster sliding up in front of his teammate, the number 211 of Tristan Beats, as slides up Raymond Rittenmeyer and the number 73 of Justin Anderson. And there goes the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster, wanting to go 3 wide, bringing her on back down into double file situation. Raymond Rittenmeyer out there in front on the middle lane, working with number 73 of Justin Anderson. But here comes that inside lane being led by James O. Brown and the number 24 of Everett Lane. Mr. I was a lap down himself, got a speeding penalty. But right now, Everett Lane doing a great job with 15 to go. Everett Lane all over the rear end of James O. Brown, side by side with Raymond Rittenmeyer and Justin Anderson. 14 laps to go, 86 down, 14 to go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, up there on that broadcasting chat, talk to me about who you think is going to be able to bring her home tonight in the opening race at Talladega. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower out there rooting on Judd, but unfortunately I do not believe it will be Judd. Judd currently is 4 laps down. I do believe that James O. Brown, Raymond Rittenmeyer, Everett Lane, Justin Anderson, or Ryan Kuhn, or Mitchell Reeves are top 6 right now. All of these drivers getting a good shot out here tonight. But it is going to come down to some very serious teamwork. Keeping cameras focused up on our top 4 drivers for the remaining 13 laps as James O. Brown racing side by side with Raymond Rittenmeyer. Very tight racing up here for position 1. Drivers currently pulling down lap times in the 48.6s, speeds in excess of 197 miles per hour, 198, 199 coming down that backstretch. Mitchell Reeves with a 199 mile per hour speed right there on lap 87. Drivers seemingly to be very evenly matched, side by side racing. Nobody wanting to go 3 wide just yet. Just about 12 and a half laps to get her done. If these drivers are going to go 3 wide, they're going to have to start getting busy and start working that 3 wide action. Now, in the race we did have on Sunday, the Drive for Dementia Awareness, these drivers ran 3 wide, 20, 30 laps. Great racing out there. Great racing out here tonight. Looking back at the number 32, though, 3 wide action, number 33, Vernon Margheim. Vernon Margheim coming up fast on that outside lane, working with Colin Bauer and Steve Dukes into the wall. Steve Dukes into the wall. Caution will not fly, but I did see out of the corner of my eye Steve Dukes into the wall, back up here to the 3 wide action with Colin Bauer on the outside lane, working with Vernon Margheim. Right now, Vernon Margheim in position 14. Vernon Margheim in position 13. Colin Bauer in position 11, trying to make that 3 wide happen. Not going to happen quite yet. They're trying it, but they cannot get that run. Now Colin is picking it up. Colin is picking up that 3 wide as the number 99. Everett Lane going for a ride. Everett Lane going for a ride. Everett Lane going for a ride. Caution will not fly. Ladies and gentlemen, still green flag racing. Word on the track is the number 24 did blow that engine. 3 wide action there with the number 32 of Colin. Front pack is disrupted. A lot of confusion up here. 32, Colin Bauer taking it 3 wide one more time in that 3 wide position. Big damage on the rear end of the number 32 of Colin Bauer. Side drafting it with the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster. Jarrett Lipster, the monkey in the middle here on lap 90. But what a job being done by Colin Bauer. Being pushed on by Vernon Margheim. Vernon Margheim contact with the number 99 Jarrett Lister getting up there into that 3-wide action onto the rear end of the number 2 of Mitchell Reeves. Number 32, Colin Bauer, down in between the number 99 and the 211. Jarrett Lister all over the rear end of Mitchell Reeves. Big action in back with Nathan Sylvia. Nathan Sylvia, ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up. Here comes Nathan Sylvia and Sean Dower. One more time on that 3-wide. Jarrett Lister, a little chaotic up here as Jarrett Lister opts up onto that outside lane. Get a big push from Nathan Sylvia. I tell you what, folks, it is getting crazy out here in the closing laps. All these drivers, 4 wide with Greg McClendon, the lap traffic. We were 4 wide there, ladies and gentlemen, with the lap traffic of Greg McClendon. There goes Vernon Markheim going for a ride. Vernon Markheim. James O'Brown going for a ride. Still green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Jarrett Lister up through the center. We are on lap 92, 8 to go. 3 spin outs. No cautions flying tonight. Keeping cameras loaded up onto this 3-wide action up here in front. We have got Raymond Rittenauer on the inside. We have got Dustin Anderson in the middle. We have got the number 32 of Colin Bauer. Where did the number 32 come from? He came from the back. He's going to the front. Number 32, Colin Bauer, being pushed on by Nathan Sylvia. Ladies and gentlemen, talk to me out there on that All-Pro Broadcasting chat. Approaching 7 to go. Inside lane falling apart. Once again, 4 wide with the lap traffic of Everett. Fast lane, 62 and 211. Sean Dower making contact with the number 211 of Tristan Beach. That will bring out our 5th caution of the night, as it does appear that Colin Bauer and the number 211 of Tristan Beats into a 4-wide situation. Does appear that possibly the number 211 drifting up into the number 62, triggering our 5th caution of the night. That will bring out the 5th caution of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, we were 4 wide. 4 wide action there with the lap traffic. I tell you what, folks, great action right here, but that will bring out our 5th caution of the night. Still not a bad race out here tonight. We have had several drivers out, going from the back to the front. Right now, we have got a new race leader. We have got Colin Bauer. Taking a look upon that on further inspection, does appear that drivers did come down onto the 211. Nonetheless, it does happen out here. This is Talladega. That is a definite change of events out here. I'm going to get a chat in with the number 32 of Colin Bauer. How about it, Colin Bauer? Have you got a copy, sir? Colin Bauer, have you
Yes,
got...
sir. Yeah,
Right.
I hear you.
All right, there you are. Talk to us about those last 2 laps. You kind of came out from the back, out of there nowhere, with rear end damage, got your way up to the front. What was on your mind right there?
It was time to go. I was drafting with my buddy Vern there, and he had something go wrong. We decided it was time to go. Hung out at the back most of the race, but I had a lot of help. I think it was from Nathan, and wouldn't have been able to do without him. So see what happens here these last few laps.
All right, copy that. Any sponsors out here that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, obviously representing Old Spice today, you know, keeping fresh, especially in times like this. And got to thank KMA and everybody like that for putting this on.
All right, now you do have a little bit of a spoiler damage there on your rear end. Is that going to affect your final 3 laps out here?
I hope not. It hasn't affected me to this point, and, you know, didn't get to use my reset, but hopefully we're going to be all right.
All right, copy that. Good luck to you, Colin.
Thank you, Scott.
Time for one more driver interview. Going to get a chat in with Gary Whitmer. How about it, Gary Whitmer? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, I do, Scott. How you doing?
Doing good. You have had an up and down night, brother. I do know you got into a little bit of trouble there in pit row with the policeman, getting a speeding penalty. But right now you're sitting in a very solid 7th place, doing it for Mom and Dad tonight. Talk to me about your night, GW.
Yep, doing it for Mom and Dad. Hello, Mom and Dad. I don't know, just taking my time and just seeing what happens. It's been a pretty good night.
Been a very good night out here tonight. Great night Saturday with 5 cautions. Great night tonight with 5 cautions. We're going to be looking at about a 3-lap shootout if my mathematics is correct, but don't quote me on that. More importantly, talk to me real quick, talk to the fans real quick about GW Graphics.
GW Graphics, I do video production for commercials, sponsors, special events, and it's being put on by All Pro Broadcasting during live events.
All right, copy that. We've seen those commercials. You do a great job out here, GW. All righty, good luck to you, brother. Position number 7 for the number 5. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Gary Whitmer trying to get her done for Mom and Dad Whitmer out here tonight. We've got time for one more driver interview. I'm going to talk to one of the younger drivers out here. How about it, Nathan Sylvia? Have you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. I do not believe I have talked to you. I always like talking to the young drivers. Right now, you're in position 3. You qualified position 2. Well, what's wrong with you, sir? You're going backwards, brother.
It's Talladega. You just have to have the golden horseshoe. Typically, people say, it's all about most likely luck if you don't have any teammates around. So, we're going to try to get the win. If we don't, we just have to push someone to the win.
All righty, copy that. Anybody out here you are working hand in hand with or hoping to get with?
Well, Steve's in the back, so he's kind of out the question. Hopefully he can come up here and probably snag one and win it.
All righty, Nick and Sylvia looking for Steve Dutz. Steve Dutz is in position 12. Well, he's got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Yep.
Good luck to you, Nathan.
Thank you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot of young drivers out here tonight trying to show them how to get her done. Nathan Sylvia right now in position 3, Jarrett Lipster in position 5, Ryan Kuhn in position 10, the 211 of Tristan Beats in position 11. All 4 of those drivers under the age of 20. Steve Dutz, early 20s, in position 12, going to try to get up there to that number 3 spot. These drivers will be taking lap 97. Going to be about a 3-lap shootout. If that caution does fly, though, before the final white flag, we will be underneath another caution. We've had 5 cautions, 40 lead changes. Ladies and gentlemen, Becky Whitmer out there talking about how her baby boy is coming up for a birthday. We're going to have to throw Gary Whitmer a good old-fashioned KMA birthday party. Big shout-out to Becky Whitmer and her husband, Gary Whitmer Sr. Going to host up the Salute to the Troops coming at you Saturday on the 18th. Going to be a great race right there. Going to be a great race coming up to you on the 18th. It's going to do pad on the 19th. People get distracted driving. Drivers are coming down the backstretch, getting ready to go back to what we hope will be the final 3 laps of the night. Well, it will be the final 3 laps of the night, either way it goes. Hopefully these drivers will finish it up under green flag circumstances. What a great race out here tonight. Colin Bauer, Justin Anderson, Nathan Sylvia, and Mitchell Reeves. Anybody's game out here tonight. I expect to see the 3 wide forming almost immediately. Drivers go on leader's discretion. You can feel the heat. You can feel the aggression starting to build up, as well as driver fatigue. These drivers have been out here for 97 laps, just about going on an hour and 50 minutes. Pace car is in. Colin Bauer side by side with Justin Anderson, holding it steady at 84 miles per hour. 84, 84, 90. There they go. And away we go, ladies and gentlemen, as they cross over onto lap 98. And up goes the number 32, Colin Bauer, winding up onto that outside lane. Number 73 giving them a little bump, knocking on that rear view. And there goes Mitchell Reeves and Justin Anderson tonight, working hand in hand. Nathan Sylvia giving a little bit of push on the inside to the number 32 of Colin Bauer. Not sure if Colin Bauer's got anybody out here dedicated to him other than the driver behind him. We are on lap 98, watching the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster go up onto the rear end of the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. Raymond Rittenauer pushing on Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves pushing on Justin Anderson. It's a 4-on-2. It's the outside on the inside show. As these closing laps do come down, we've got a 6-car breakaway out here in the front, belonging to Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves, Colin Bauer, Nathan Sylvia, Raymond Rittenauer, and Jarrett Lipster, the number 73, going down onto that inside lane, opening up that outside door for Mitchell Reeves. 32 drifting up. 32, very risky move right there by Colin Bauer. We are 3 wide at the front. We are on lap 99. Nathan Sylvia, Justin Anderson, Mitchell Reeves in a 3 wide situation. But that is allowing Ryan Kuhn and Steve Dukes to get caught up. Outside lane falling apart. Inside lane being the dominating force right now in the closing laps. Nathan Sylvia, Jarrett Lipster, positions 1 and 2 on that inside, and Ryan Kuhn. Young guys out here tonight showing how to get her done. This is the white flag, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Sylvia out there in front, working with the number 99 of Jarrett Lipster and the number 11 of Ryan Kuhn. But the number 73 not giving it up. Ryan Kuhn going up. Ryan Kuhn going up. Jarrett Lipster going up. Chaos ensuing. 4 wide. 4 wide. They are a wrecking, ladies and gentlemen. Insanity up at the front. Chaos, they are still wrecking. Looking at a drag race with Nathan Sylvia and Jarrett Lipster and the number 5 of Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer might get her done tonight. Go, Gary, go. Gary going to push on to the number 99, past Nathan Sylvia. Gary Whitmer. Gary Whitmer going for it. Gary Whitmer trying all he can. Go, Gary Whitmer, go. Gary Whitmer will take 2nd place tonight. What a finish. Ladies and gentlemen, what a finish. That will be Nathan Sylvia racking up number 3, Gary Whitmer. Racking up number 2, Jarrett Lipster. Packing up number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get some driver interviews in here. How about it, Nathan Sylvia? What a finish, brother. Talk to me.
I honestly did not think I was going to come back around and finish 3rd, actually. I saw a lot of runs happening. I was just trying to keep myself in contention of winning, and I tried to do a block out of 4. I just didn't want to wreck me and Jared and Gary for the win that wouldn't going to end so well.
Well, I tell you what, you had us up on our toes. Some great racing right there by Nathan Sylvia. Good job to you, brother.
Thank you.
How about it, Gary Whitmer? You got a copy, sir?
I do, Scott. What a night.
What a night. I know you are excited as a fat man chasing a donut, having to sell on them donuts even, in fact. Talk to me, Gary.
I don't know. I took my time and then seen a hole and I took it, but I think I might have got Mitchell Reeves in the mix of that. I don't know. I apologize for that. That was my fault, but I took a hole when I seen it.
Actually, we are looking at that right now, and you were not at fault on that. It does appear that Raymond Rittenauer actually tagged onto the rear end of Mitchell, shot him forward a little bit, and I'm not sure what you could have done any differently there, brother. But unfortunate break for him, but great break for you. Gary Whitmer, bring her home, position 2 tonight. Good job, Gary.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks for the viewers.
Yep, big shout out to Mom and Dad out there.
That's it. Love you guys.
All right, the man of the hour, though, Jarrett Lipster. How are we doing, Jarrett?
Great. You, Scott?
I'm excited as a fox in a hen house. Jarrett, talk to me about those closing laps.
Whew. Really exciting, and I go by the only lap that counts is the last lap, and it's exciting. I really want to thank Gary Whitmire for sticking with me there.
Copy that, and indeed he did. stick with you. Looking at the replay right now, it appears those drivers were 4 wide behind you. There was Steve and Colin and Ryan and the number 73. At that point in time, you and Nathan were the runaways. You only had a couple of drivers trying to get up there to you. You got a little bit wiggly, a little bit left damage into the number 73, but fair and clean side by side with Nathan Sylvia. At that point in time, did you know Gary Whitmer was going to stay with you?
No, not really. I thought he would have just brought it 3 wide, but then I was like, he's one of my closest teammates here, so.
All righty, Jarrett Lipster, very proud of you. The KMA Young Gun #1, getting her done tonight at Talladega. Good job.
Yeah, I want to thank John Hendrick for painting up these paints and everybody for helping me too.
All righty, copy that. Big shout out to John Hendrick over the top paints and designs. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up race 1 of 12. Becky Whitmer out there talking about how mom and dad were yelling. So excited for GW. Check us out tomorrow night at Bristol. That one there, it is going to be very interesting to say the least. And that will be, I believe, race 6 in the TNT series. Big shout out to Over the Top Paints. Big shout out to Pad. Big shout out to Mike D'Amico, All Pro Broadcasting. And I am Scott, and he is Mike. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Another day on the job, a man, his men and their guns, holding off the enemy for 3 hot days in the desert sun. The decision he made, his men on the grave, was do or die for him that day. He stepped into the line of fire, and the hero he became. 'Cause some men